Tony J is in the building. It's not usual that the guest gets to hear all the wonderful things about themselves.
I felt pressure there to really pump it up. I mean, there was more stuff. I love Tony, but yeah, he's not. The guest is not usually sitting right across.
No,
from
it's a little bit extra.
That's not what happened.
Yeah, right.
No, it's definitely an honor. I appreciate that, John. It doesn't happen often enough where you're able to get your flowers or receive your flowers and kind of hear about what you're doing. So nice to hear that and be able to take a moment to take a step back from all the work that we're doing and that I'm in, and kind of look at the bigger picture of it.
Tony, let's take a step back to how we got to this point for yourself. A little background on yourself personally. Where did this pickleball journey start? How did it start? I think that would be good for people to know, because everybody has a little bit of a unique pickleball story for sure.
Absolutely. So I discovered pickleball probably about 5 years ago, maybe even 6 years ago. I was in my gym, Norfolk Fitness Wellness Center, and just getting a workout in. After I lifted regularly, I would always go into the gym and get a couple shots up, talking about shooting hoops. And this particular day, I go in the gym, and there's this net set up, and I'm like, hey, what's this? And so they pull out the wooden paddles, and they pull out the wiffle ball, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Because I actually happened to play tennis at a high level. So I had played tennis since I was about 13, and I played Division III for 1 year before I decided it wasn't the commitment for me. But stepping onto this pickleball court and discovering this new game, I was enamored from first strike of the ball. So at the time, I was actually personal training, and COVID had killed my personal training business. So I was really at a fork in the road and trying to figure out, was I going to try to get this personal training thing back up, or was I going to try to do something different? And I took the jump, and I jumped into pickleball. I got certified. I started coaching, and it all started from coaching. Eventually, I started organizing events. I wanted to do more. I wanted to provide more opportunity for people to play, and more facilities, more places, and just get the game out to the masses.
Tony, you and I have had this conversation before, and I was behind you in terms of getting into organizing tournaments, and our story was somewhat similar in terms of a turn in our careers and what we were looking to do, the us being Renee and I, my wife. And you and I have had conversations about there weren't a ton of options for players. Now, obviously, now there's become a proliferation of options, including us and you and everybody else that is getting involved in pickleball. Have you been surprised at all in terms of how events have evolved and what it has kind of forced adaptation, I think, from some of those original folks?
I wouldn't say I've been surprised, but I think, we can take a look at what's happening in the pro game and how everything is kind of evolving and developing. I think the same thing's happening here locally on a smaller scale, but still, evolving and moving forward. I think there's a lot of people that don't share the passions that we have, that are looking into getting into pickleball and trying to capitalize on the growth of the game, and ultimately, we're able to tell who's who with what they're doing and their commitments and what type of events they're looking to run.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head right there. I didn't do it with intentionality when I got here. I just fell in love with pickleball because I needed something to do as a competitive outlet at Pouncey Track Park. And unbeknownst to me, I got to know pretty much everybody, not everybody, but the vast majority of people that played there. I was not anywhere near being the best player, but I was also not anywhere near being the worst player. And it just, for lack of a better term, became one of them. They know that we know the game. What I get a lot now is, why aren't you playing? When are you going to play? And, of course, it's because we've been sprinting around here getting this thing ready, and I'm like, I know, I want to be out there with y'all, but we gotta get this going. But there does have to be that legitimate respect within the pickleball community in order to even have the opportunities that we have to create.
And I would agree 100%, because as you know, as you pickleballers that are listening know, that this community is unlike any other community. Everybody's so inclusive, everybody's super loving, everyone's super supportive. So if they think you're a fraud or a fake, they're not going to support you and not get behind you, right? So
yeah.
they have to see the passion and feel the legitimacy of it, and know that you're for real.
You mentioned the word community, and that obviously explains even the philosophy and the style that we approach this sport. But in terms of your community, where you live and where you work, I'm not familiar with that. I don't know what the pickleball scene is like in that area. Give us an idea on how it's growing, what it looks like, and even where you hope Seven Cities can kind of help it get to maybe one day.
Absolutely. So the people of the Hampton Roads of the Seven Cities are nuts. Just in the best kind of way, right? The Virginia Beach people, like, they're really passionate about the game, right? They're pretty particular, really passionate about the game. The people in Norfolk, we're a little bit behind as the sheer volume, but we're getting there. We're growing quickly. Hampton, Chesapeake, we don't have as many public courts, but there are more and more options popping up on the regular. Seven Cities is providing a lot of opportunities. We've started leagues in the area at 3 different venues. We've influenced a lot of the other organizers out here that they're running programs that we've introduced to the area. So we hope to continue to be innovative and lead the way, and to kind of set the bar for these other places for them to follow. And most importantly, though, we hope to continue to provide a great experience for those people in the community, for our members, for the people that I've grown to love and respect.
And Tony, we just got off a phone call with our good friend Carlos Morales, who you know very well,
Yes,
and I've known very well. He's played in every single event that I've ever had, and he's just got that infectious energy that I love. And he was up here just a couple of days ago experiencing the facility, and has now taken on an ambassador's role with USA Pickleball. And we were having a conversation, Ty and Wynn being a part of that as well, about the collaborative nature. It's what Tony was just talking about, Joe, in terms of the inclusion. And the ones that I truly feel will be, I hope it's us. I hope it's Tony. I hope it's the people that I like and
Sure.
know are passionate about it. But in order to make Virginia a hotbed to start, Virginia Beach, dramatically different than Southwest Virginia, dramatically different than Central Virginia, no better, no worse. But we're already starting to see those collaborations between different counties, different sections of the state, and take that pride in pickleball and then carry it nationally, ideally. And so one of the reasons that Tony is here today is because we're all working together on performance. Tony's had so much success programming ladders and round robins and intricate and unique league concepts and social and frenzies, which I just learned about today from Tony. And we wanted his insight and intelligence here to improve the experience for performance, and then ultimately that relationship continues. We're at the stage of who knows where it goes in terms of permanent facilities and all those things. But Tony, just talk a little bit about what you see us being able to accomplish together in terms of creating a Seven Cities team that comes up here and competes, and vice versa, and all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is all about support. And for instance, I love Carlos, and he's doing his thing with Gloucester, but his own son, is on my Seven Cities pickleball team, right? And helping us, continue to try to lead the way down there. But I think, sky's the limit for us. The more that we can work together, then the better all of our events can be. Why can't the people that trust and love me and my community feel that same love and trust in this community as well, right? We're all part of the same region, and I think we can collaborate to not only make the best region, but also make this the best state. Let's collaborate, and let's put Virginia up there in talks with competition level with Florida and California and Utah and places like that.
I'm all in on that idea for sure. I think that's it's something that's not being talked about enough, is get away from the big 3 or 4 states. Let's make this more of a legitimate national product at every level, and that also starts with younger generations getting involved in pickleball. With you being in a situation where you're working on a college campus in the ODU Tennis Center, there's a natural assumption that there'll be younger players working with you. Is that the case? Are you seeing over time younger and younger people coming to try to learn the game and then actually sticking with it over that course of time?
Yeah, and I think, pickleball was first seen as being a senior sport, but it's a common misconception in this game that, even though we've been been able to hold our spot as the most popular game in the country for the last few years, it's increasingly becoming a younger sport. The average age of the pickleballer is about 37 years old, right? So we're seeing a handful of college students. You're seeing a handful of college programs popping up around the state. We're working on getting our club team going, which is the highest level of collegiate pickleball at the moment. But we also have a family play. We have a family play on Saturdays, and we welcome kids of all ages to come and play and to compete in a safe, comfortable environment where they can have fun and have an outlet, and to continue working on, personal growth, have that social element that pickleball has that a lot of sports don't have, and, become a part of this community.
And Tony, just to elaborate a little bit, I said, I immediately knew and could see that you were doing pickleball for the right reasons and to benefit the players. And we have had that mindset as it pertains to wheelchair and adaptive divisions and hybrid, which we just did for the first time in the pickleball resolution. And not to get too personal into your own story, but that, of course, is a cause that's near and dear to your heart because you have a child that's wheelchair assisted and doing great work with organizations that are similar in many ways to Sportable, but also different. But that's another aspect to what you're doing and what we're doing that I love tying together.
Yeah, the cause is one that hits home to me very hard. My stepson is wheelchair bound. He's been in a wheelchair his entire life, has a condition called arthrogryposis multiplex congenita. And, me and my wife, we work hard to make sure that his experience is just like anybody else's experience, right? His disability is simply physical, and he has no cognitive issues at all. He excels in school. He's an honor student and everything. So we just want to make sure that not only he has a great experience, but he knows that we support him and we support other people like him. So we've had 7 cities. That is, we've had autism clinics. We've been able to give out equipment, thankfully, to our participants. And then now upcoming, we're having a military veterans program getting ready to start a clinic. So we're looking to get that off the ground and hopefully do some stuff more regionally that we'll be able to bring our team up to performance in situations like that.
Sweet. Hey, last thing I have is for people that are interested, because when they hear this, they're probably going to want to know how they can be involved with 7 Cities. What's the easiest way for them to do that?
Social media. You type in 7 Cities Pickleball on any type of social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can find us.
TikTok. That's the one that I'm still not getting into. I don't know.
I wanted to talk to you about that. No, Tony is amazing.
We have some TikToks planned for you, Joe.
Oh, good. Okay.
Which you're going to be filming and
I mean, I can make one. I just don't. I'm not on there.
You're going to make some out here.
Okay.
Think music video. I want you to be more surprised for next time.
We're going to have to
Tony
dance. We're going to have to do
Not
all that.
you.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay. Good.
Now,
good.
Tony, it's we're smiling, we're laughing, and we need obviously all that we can have in pickleball. Thanks so much for making the trip up here today, man. It's been beneficial for our team, and we look forward to doing it more.
No, thank you. I appreciate being here and the time away from work into paradise.